All right, looks like everyone's in. So good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Bill Leonard. I am the Director of Enrollment Management at Bergen Catholic High School. And tonight, the coffee series is going to focus on athletics at Bergen Catholic. So you'll be hearing from Brendan McGovern, our Associate Athletic Director, Joe Haemmerle, our Sports Information Director, Coach Vito Campanelli, the head coach for the varsity football team, Coach Billy Armstrong, head coach of varsity basketball, and we have Coach Bob Maggio, I believe, still in the waiting room. He is the head coach of Bergen Catholic baseball. So I will turn it over now to my friend, classmate, and colleague from the class of 2010 at Bergen Catholic, Brendan McGovern.
Thanks, Bill. Good evening, everybody. I'm really happy to get this opportunity to speak to you guys tonight about our athletic programs. I obviously wish we could have this conversation in person, but nonetheless, still happy to get this chance to talk to you guys. My name is Brendan McGovern, class of 2010, and I'm one of the associate athletic directors here at Bergen Catholic. I had a great experience as a student athlete here at Bergen, and I really consider it an honor to be back here working with the athletic program to try to make sure all the current student athletes get that same positive experience that I really had when I went to Bergen. So I wanted to start by just kind of taking you some of our mission and goals as an athletic department. So our mission as associate athletic directors at Bergen Catholic is really to foster a great relationship between your sons and our coaches, to embrace their development, in mind, body, and spirit. And what does that mean? Our ultimate goal is throughout this whole process, just develop young boys into good men. That's really our ultimate goal through athletics at Bergen Catholic. We're always going to strive for excellence in everything we do at Bergen, and that certainly relates to our athletic program as well. We do that through motivating each student athlete to reach whatever their individual greatest potential is, and therefore lets our teams reach their greatest potential. So we're always going to push and motivate everyone to be the best person they could be. And then kind of the schedule we play. So like in growing, like our school is really on a national level, not just a local level. So as an athletic program, we play a national level as well as local schools. And we really think this philosophy gives our student athletes a chance to test themselves against the most appropriate competition, whether that's in New Jersey or really anywhere across the country. And that's kind of our main goals as an athletic department when we give these young men at Bergen. And a big thing at Bergen Catholic that I'm sure you've heard a lot about, we'll continue to hear more of, is the Brotherhood at Bergen. And that's never been more evident than through the support and the bond you'll see between the student athletes and the entire Bergen Catholic community. This has really been the passion and BC's tradition and reputation for almost 60 years is the Brotherhood of Bergen Catholic. And honestly, with everything going on in the world today, I truly believe athletics is a great vehicle for people from all different walks of life, really, to come together on one team and try to accomplish one goal. And throughout this process, you really develop relationships and friendships that last your whole lifetime. I know I have, still have friends from Bergen like Bill and other guys. So I really think athletics is a special thing in that regard. And then what do we offer at Bergen, though? So for the school year, we have 17 varsity sports at Bergen. About 75% of our student body participates in one of our athletic programs. So we really encourage student athletes to participate, and we encourage them to participate in multiple sports. And there's really a lot of opportunities for guys to get involved in some of our programs. 13 of our 17 programs don't make any cuts. So there's really a lot of opportunity to compete. At a lot of our programs, we have 3 levels. We have freshman, JV, and varsity. Again, just leading for more opportunities for student athletes to compete at the high school level. And then in regards to what sports we have, in the fall, we offer cross-country, football, and soccer. In the winter, we offer basketball, bowling, hockey, indoor track, skiing, swimming, and wrestling. And then in the spring, we have baseball, crew, golf, lacrosse, outdoor track, tennis, and volleyball. So those are the 17 sports we offer at the varsity level here at Bergen Catholic. And the main goal for our student athletes when we're looking at what we want to do in an athletic program is we want them to have a great memory from the time they played sports at Bergen Catholic. We obviously want to win at everything we do, but we don't really focus on the results as much. We want to focus on the process of getting there, which we think we do by exposing them to excellent coaches, outstanding teammates, and really challenging competition, playing the best teams they could play. That's really my spiel for tonight. I wanted to thank you guys for letting me talk to you a little bit. I'll obviously be happy to answer any questions once we've heard from everybody here tonight. And I'd just like to turn it over to Joe Haemmerle now to speak a little bit more about it.
Thanks, Brendan. Brendan, I'm so happy that you did the hard job of naming all the sports, because I don't know if I could get through to 17, but very well done. Very well done. I graduated from Bergen Catholic in 1986. I was a football player here in my time, and I've been fortunate enough to run and did come back to the school and serve in a variety of different roles. I was also fortunate enough to see my oldest son graduate from Bergen Catholic in 2015. And he was involved with our athletic program as well, which I think was tremendous help for him and his success in college and now in his professional life. Currently, I'm the Associate Athletic Director with Brendan, and I do work as a Sports Information Director, and I teach religion. So tomorrow's the last day of class, so I got to be honest with you, I'm pretty excited. In a way, I'm a little disappointed I'm not going to see the kids, because that's been, it's always nice to be able to actually in person see your kids, but they've been working very hard. And if you've heard anything about what we're doing from an academic perspective, the kids are with us every day in school from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock virtually. And it's been great. They've been outstanding and participating in great. But regarding my athletic career at Bergen Catholic from a professional side, I coached here in football for 20 years. I coached 24 years of varsity lacrosse. I coached outdoor track, so I have a pretty vast array of experiences. I've had a chance to see some of the, frankly, best players in the world, certainly in the history of Bergen Catholic, but whether it's a first-round draft choice in the NFL or the first draft choice of the MLS draft or the first national champion in Rutgers University's wrestling program. I've had a chance to meet some incredible kids, and it's an exciting place to be. It's exciting to look to become the next Aleko Eskandar, Brian Cushing, Mark DeRosa, Nick Sarah. We could go on and on with the names, but truth of the matter is, as Brendan said earlier, as we look at our coaches, and we just went through a hiring process with our cross country program. One of the things we're always looking for, is something that was told to me when I was hired. Okay, Joe, you're here to teach young men, not history. Taught history as well. And I think that's really an important concept. It's about teaching young men. And we've seen some tremendous guys grow up. We've seen some tremendous guys make impacts on the world. With all the traveling that we've done, I know as a part of our lacrosse program, one of the parts of our mission was always to leave the world a little better place than when we found it. So when we went to Florida, we would participate in service projects at local YMCAs. If we went out to Colorado, maybe we were doing a food pantry where we loaded like 19,000 pounds of food. It was always to make the world better wherever we went. So we try to instill that mission upon our kids as well. They're not just called to Bergen Catholic to play football or lacrosse or hockey or basketball or baseball. They're called here for a much, much greater reason. They're called here to make an impact on the world going forward. So as we all know, this has been a really tough time with this COVID virus. One of the people, the real leaders, in our country and certainly in our county, has been Mike Marin, the CEO of Holy Name Hospital. I mention him because not only Mike's a former hockey player and alumnus and alumni parent, but in addition, we have a very strong relationship with Holy Name Hospital. We're working very closely with them. they have a liaison that works with us named Reg Grant, okay, is a former NHL trainer, and he works with us and the hospital as we look to continually improve the health support of our student athletes through our trainer staff, which includes 2 trainers. We generally have a student athletic trainer from one of the local colleges, and we work closely with our hospital and its doctors to ensure we do concussion screening, physicals, any other medical needs that our students might need. We're make sure, we have a great opportunity to build a great relationship with them. I know Reg and Brendan and I are always talking about the different challenges that student athletes face. Traveling to school, whatever the challenges are, they're not just maybe injury related or pre-injury related, preventative related. We're also talking about nutrition. We're also talking about just the quality of life, so that they can excel in the classroom, which is job number one. Because when we develop strong students, they have a better opportunity to go to college. There's more opportunities financially. There's more opportunities from an acceptance standpoint. They are trusted by their coaches because they're going to take their studies seriously, and they're not going to have to worry about them as they're going on. And then as they move forward through college, they take that education and, like I said, make a real impact on the world. So thanks so much for your time. Like Brendan, I'm going to be here throughout the evening. I'm really excited to hear from our coaches, because I frankly think we have the finest coaching staff in the state of New Jersey, if not the country. I would challenge you to find a better group from an experience perspective, and certainly from just from a human perspective. These are some of the finest people I've met through my professional life, certainly throughout my life. So really happy to turn it over at this point to Vito. Can I turn it over to you? I guess you're the first season up.
Okay, I appreciate you guys coming on. I appreciate you guys having me. So I'm glad Bob's on here, because I'm feeling outnumbered. Billy's a Bergen alum as well. So I'm the first guy to speak here that's not an alumnus of Bergen Catholic. I did graduate from Catholic school, but I went to Paramus Catholic. So if I was in the gym, Joe might throw some rocks at me.
We still love you. Come on.
But I appreciate parents coming on, and just for me, this is more about the athletic culture of our school, and I'd be more than open and willing to speak about football in detail as much as you need it at any time. And that's always an open door policy for anybody who's interested in our community and in our school. But a lot like Brendan was saying about, I feel there is an incredible brotherhood within our school. But I could also say, as a faculty member, as a teacher and a coach, as Joe just said, I think that the guys that are on here with me are some of the best character people that I've met in my 21 years as a coach. And that, Billy and Bob will speak after me. And I think there's a great brotherhood and camaraderie between us. And for me as a parent, I think it's just very important that you want to have your children around like-minded people, and people that are gravitating to go in the same direction, and people that have the right value structure. And I think whatever the sport is, I feel very confident that our school does an amazing job in offering that. Just the right value structure and the right life lessons that every kid, no matter if you're going to go play Division I or, you're just going to be a guy that is on this team and it's going to be a life benefit for you after your career. I think that we have the right people intact to do a great job of that. And I mean, the success of our programs, I think, speaks to that. But more importantly, I think the kids would speak to that. So the one thing that I would just say to anyone on here tonight, I would, Bill Leonard and Matt Rosa can definitely take you guys through. Sign up for Crusader for a day. Make sure that you get to spend some time with the people in our community. And I think for your sons, that's really the best way to navigate and see what the Brotherhood of Bergen Catholic is about, and the people that I'm talking about, how good of people they are. And just understand that, your children's success is what we do for a living. So with the exception of our own families, that's really the things that we're most committed to, is the guys we coach and we really develop lifelong relationships that go far beyond the field or the court. And I think that any one of our players, when you come through and talk to them, I would hope that they would echo exactly what I'm saying, because I know I speak for Billy and Bob, that is without question the number one goal of our school. And I think the number one goal of our community as athletes, for sure. Just a couple things that I would tell you in looking for a high school, and I know that most people should do. I personally think you guys should do your due diligence, and I think that you should look at other schools. And I say that because I've been in other communities, but I feel really confident that when you come to our place and you meet the people and the investment that we have in our kids, I think that you'll definitely concur that we're up there amongst the best schools in the state of New Jersey in every capacity. Then from as far as if you're looking for a college prep organization, we do as good of a job as anybody putting kids at the next level. I could speak for football. 2020, we'll have 54 kids playing college football. And that's from every level, from Division I down to Division III. But we will have a tremendous community of kids playing college football. And just talking about building holistic student athletes, next year we'll have 6 kids playing in the Ivy League. And our 2019 graduating class, we were the only school in New Jersey to place 4 kids in the Ivy League, which is amongst some of the best academic schools in the country. So I think that we're doing a great job developing the guys in every capacity of their life and building a great rapport and brotherhood that they'll take with them forever. But I can't say enough about working here and the environment that we're trying to build. And I certainly hope if anybody has any questions, you can reach me at any time. And we'll be happy to help you. And I know Coach Armstrong is going to go next. So, but I really appreciate you guys being on here, and I'll definitely stay on for any questions.
Thanks, Coach. So, Coach Armstrong.
Thanks, Bill. And Vito, thank you. I just want to thank everybody for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's always hard. Coach Vito kind of mentioned it. It's very hard to, in a short period of time, kind of sum up 2 things. One, Bergen Catholic and what that meant to me. And then the other thing, obviously, in terms of the Bergen Catholic basketball program, because it's just such a thing that's just so important to me. Just my background real quick. I went to Bergen Catholic, graduated in 1994. I guess my claim to fame to going to Bergen Catholic, when I went there, I was just an average kind of basketball player, to be honest with you. And that's one of the biggest things that I think in terms of my decision-making going to Bergen. I always felt that you got to be in that pool with kind of the big sharks. I think having a big dream, looking for excellence, all of those things, if that's something that you're interested in, something that you want to do, then I would say go for it, because it really made all the difference for me. So I didn't start out as one of the star players at Bergen Catholic. I took the traditional route, played on the freshman team, played on the JV team, and then by the time I was a junior, I was pretty good. And I don't want to say that – I don't want to sound like wrong when I say that, because all the credit goes to my coaches and Bergen Catholic. That's the reason I believe that I was able to get a Division I scholarship and everything. So if you have some kind of dream and you want to be excellent, you want to kind of reach for the stars, I would encourage you to make sure you investigate Bergen Catholic, which is just like I said, meant everything to me or whatever. Our basketball program just runs parallel to the school. I think what makes us special is 2 things. One, the people, like Coach Vito said. The second thing is that we run our school based on principles. We run our basketball program based on principles, and they're the principles that we live by. If you ask our players, they'll tell you about what we do, and it's TCC, which is just our core values of trust, care, and commitment, and that kind of runs in line with what the school does. So we really try to build the leaders in our program. We try to build the leaders in our school based on those core values. 2 other things that really are important to us that runs through the school, not just the basketball program, that I firmly believe better people become better players. Better people become better you can really put in anything you want. Better people become better students. Better people become better doctors, lawyers, police officers. So that's the approach that we take. And when I say we, it's the school. It's all the coaches that are on here, our athletic director, assistant athletic director. Better people become better players. So I always tell my players, at the beginning of the season, I make them kind of write down 3 to 5 things that they need to kind of get better at, and has nothing to do with basketball. Because as they get better at those things, some kids are afraid of failure. Some kids aren't on time. I know Coach Vito and Coach Bob probably have a couple kids that are still learning about time, and 3 o'clock means 3 o'clock and things like that. So we all have these flaws and everything. So we really try to develop the person because better people become better at whatever they're doing. I was never an early morning person, and I got better. So now I get up at 4:30 in the morning, and my life has just changed. So I've become better, and it's helped me in so many different areas and stuff. So for us, it's TCC. It runs through the school, I believe. It might not be used in those words. It runs through our programs. Our approach will be better people become better players. Better people become better students. Better people have a better chance of reaching their dreams and goals. And then the third thing, which is I stole from one of the guys that works with us, with Victory Road, is a good friend of mine, Travis Thomas, and he has a thing called Live, Yes, End, and it's really become a mantra in our program. And we're all living, and we want kids that come to Bergen Catholic, we want you to live. So that means, like, if you want to try out for 4 sports in the fall, in the winter, and the spring, like, you should go for it. If you want to play, you want to join this club, you want to play different sports, so you got to live. There's a lot of adults out there that I think sometimes live life on the sidelines. So we really try to encourage our students to go for it, to play multiple sports, to join clubs, to go make the honor roll, National Honor Society, whatever it is. We want them to live and go for it. And then the big things that we really teach, and like I said, it runs through the school, is the yes and part. Because what happens is, as you go through life, you live, and say you try out for a team and you don't make it, the next thing you have to say is yes. So it's yes, like, because you have to accept it. And sometimes what happens is adults and kids don't accept things, and they make excuses and whine and complain. So we really teach our kids at Bergen Catholic to say yes, to accept, this is what's happened to me. I got a C on this test, or I got a C in this class. I've got to accept that first. And then the next piece to it is the biggest, maybe most important word, is the A-N-D, end. So it comes down to end. So I went for it. Let's say I didn't make the team. I accepted that, and what do I do now? So those are really just kind of the concepts that we try to live by in our program. But like I said, it really runs through everything we do at the school and with our coaches. So for us, it's TCC, better people become better players, and it's live, yes, end. So, and the one thing I make just to wrap up with, we do try to win. Like, we want to win. So we do focus on the process. We do focus on getting better. We do focus on developing people and everything. But the winning part is we don't have control over that, and sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. But we do put ourselves out there because, again, we are striving for excellence. And my goal with the Bergen Catholic basketball team is to have the greatest high school basketball team in the history of the universe. So I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but that's the goal. And in the process of that, what the byproduct, I hope, is that whether we win or lose, we put ourselves out there, but they become better young men in the process. So last final thing, I'll just piggyback on what Coach Vito said. He's had some really great players. Coach Mageo's had some really great players. I've been very fortunate to coach some great players. They go through this recruiting process, and they get recruited by all these colleges. And I'm just there for them to lean on me. I don't influence anything. I'm just there to lean so they can lean on me. The one thing I do tell them is the best you possibly can in this process, try to make the decision based on the people. Because what happens is, say you're getting recruited by Notre Dame, you're going to go there and they're going to show you the 30,000-seat arena if you play basketball, the 100,000 people that sit in the stands. They're going to show you the weight facility. They're going to show you all of these kind of things. And sometimes it all looks good. And it's not easy. So just like kind of what Coach Vito said, you really got to go through this process. But I would encourage you the best you can, figuring out a way to get to know the people, because at the end of the day, that's what's really going to make the experience for you. I have a kid that plays at Xavier. He called me after the first week, and he could care less about their beautiful facility because he's got a college coach that's yelling at him for 3 hours a day. But he did make his decision based on people. So that would be my advice to you. And then I'm always here 24/7. If anybody ever needs to get in touch with me, my email at Bergen Catholic email and stuff, I'm here to help you guys. So thank you very much. Am I passing this on to somebody, Bill?
Bobby.
Yeah, Coach Mageo's up next.
All right.
And he's on mute, so he's going to have to turn himself off mute.
Oh, boy.
I'm in. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We got you, Coach.
Yes, Coach.
So yeah, I'm not a. I need to speak to Al Spiegel about some technical issues I was having. So
That's it.
I apologize for getting on late. Thanks for having me. I think this is an excellent forum to get a chance to visit with some parents and to and kind of tell them about the positive things and the great things that Bergen Catholic is doing. I'll give you a little background on myself and how I got here. First of all, I've been here. I guess I have to count this year as a year, even though we didn't have baseball this year. But this would have been my 6th year at Bergen Catholic. I was hired by Brendan's dad, Mr. McGovern, and I remember when I went through the interview process with him, one of the questions he asked me was, "Why do you want to be here?" And for me, it was kind of simple. I'm here to make a difference in the lives of the players that we come in contact with, and I'm sure I'm speaking for Billy and for Vito as well at this point. We don't do it for the money. We don't do it for the glory because there are years that you win championships and there's years you don't win championships. But every year that you coach and every day that you coach, you have a chance to make an impact on the kids that are around you. And that's kind of what my focus is as a coach. I know I don't have I guess out of the coaches that are here tonight on this forum, Billy's been here the longest, but I guess I'm the oldest, so I'm the elder statesman in the group from the standpoint of age. I got here as I went to, I know Vito said before that, he went to Paramus Catholic, and I have to mumble under my breath that I graduated from Don Bosco. I coached at Cresskill High School for many years. I was over at Demrest, Northern Valley Demrest for a few years, and then I spent 9 years at St. Joe's as the pitching coach over there before I had this great opportunity presented to me. And my gosh, it's been a blessing for me to have been offered the position when it was offered, and I couldn't be happier to be here and be part of this great family. As far as our baseball program goes, you know what, we're blessed as a school to have great athletes come through our school. But the bigger picture for me as a head coach is to make sure that we're taking young men who are good athletes and we're turning them into high character individuals. So beyond what happens on the baseball field, we've done a lot of community service stuff since I've been here. We've had our kids go feed the homeless at the food pantry. We've done that a number of times over the last 3 years. Typically every year. We didn't do it this year because of the COVID virus, but we have our boys participate in what's called the Challenger game, which is Little League has a Challenger division where there's disabled children, and we interact with them, and we're big buddies for them, at an event. We've done a Christmas toy drive every year. So I think the things that I'm most proud of, as Billy said, and as Vito said, winning and losing is part of the equation. It's you take the good and the bad as a coach, but taking young men and transforming them into high character kids and really setting them on the right path for the next step in life, which obviously college, but beyond that, we want these kids to understand that when they leave here, they got to be at some point down the road, they're going to be employees and or employers. They're going to be boyfriends. They're going to be fathers. They're going to be husbands, and I think the bigger picture for all of us would probably incorporate putting these kids in a position where the Bergen Catholic family or brotherhood really sets them off for a great future. We had this year, and through Billy's suggestion, we had an opportunity to bring in Victory Road. And as I said, I came in late, so I don't know if you spoke about that yet, Brendan or Joe. And so Victory Road is a leadership team. And we had our kids, originally they were supposed to be about 10 sessions that we were going to do with them. We ended up only getting 3 or 4 in, but but they were extremely influential in how they presented their leadership program to our kids, and they really impacted our kids in a short time. I mean, we ended up, obviously when school ended the first or second week in March, our baseball season was cut short. But I really feel like in the handful of sessions that they came in, they were very impactful, and I know we have intentions of using them, on a larger scale next year. I know Dr. Mahoney has talked about bringing them in with our freshmen, and we'll once again use them in our baseball program. But Bergen Catholic's been a great place to coach at. I mean, it's a family, and for me, I've had the opportunity, like I said, to have coached at some other schools, and graduating from Don Bosco and coaching at St. Joe's, I have a pretty good sense of what goes on at these other schools, and they're all good schools. And like Vito said before, I think it's important that as a parent, you get out there and you explore all your options, and ultimately it's got to feel like home. And I think to my son Alex, who's now a teacher at Bergen Catholic, and he's also one of the coaches on our staff. When he was going through the process of looking for high school, and he ended up at St. Joe's. I was coaching there at the time, but as he moved on to college, it came down to, you better go to a place that feels like home, and then you can see yourself being a student athlete there for the next 4 years. So from our standpoint, I think the coaching staff that we have in this school and the administration is very supportive of what we do as coaches. It's a terrific place to coach at, and I'm excited just for this opportunity tonight to get on here and to speak about the special place that Bergen Catholic is. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. You can call me. My email address is on the baseball website. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out.
All right. Thank you, Coach. And for anyone who joined in the middle of the session, just a reminder, this is being recorded and it's going to be posted on our website and emailed out to everyone that registered. So you can watch the full thing once we post it on the website. So with that, I will open it up to questions, and we have one already in the chat. So I will pose that to Brendan and Joe. So the question was for incoming freshmen. So just, by the way, this group is a mix of incoming freshmen and rising eighth graders. So for incoming freshmen, are there forms for athletics? So can you talk a little bit about the onboarding process for incoming freshmen that are looking to play athletics?
So we use a product called Family ID, and that's how we register all of our students and student athletes. So everyone needs to have a physical before they start classes in September. We just sent, I think it's going out today, Brendan, or?
I believe it's going out tomorrow, the letter, Coach.
Okay, or the letter's going out tomorrow, and that'll have full instructions, okay? Online, if you visit our website, you can actually go to the athletics section, okay, and find the medical forms, and you can complete everything right there. It's an online process. Once you take your son to get a physical, the doctor can submit the physical electronically or paper, turning it back into the nurse over the summer. We'll have the offices open throughout the course of the summer, and that's kind of our process. But if he wants to play multiple sports, like Billy was talking about, playing multiple sports, he can sign up for sports throughout the season so that our trainers are prepared, and your family will receive communications about all the sports your son might be interested in right from day one. So yeah, Family ID is the name of the program, and once your son is into that program, it'll prevent you won't have to upload all of his information every year. Everything is populated from year to year. And the nice thing is now our coaches, our trainers, they have much better access to health information for your sons, and that's how that goes. All right.
Thank you, Joe. Another question from the chat. Can my son play 3 sports? That would be 1 sport each season.
Yes, absolutely. You can play one sport each season. We encourage kids, especially as they come in as freshmen, to play as many sports as you'd like, to try to see what fits you best and what you end up developing and liking the best as you go along and as you get older. But absolutely could play, 3 sports, one in each season.
All right, thank you. Another question from the chat. How are student athletes supported in the college recruiting process? So I guess whoever wants to jump in for this one.
So I'll start if you want. If any of the coaches want to jump in, they can. But all of our coaches really support our student athletes in their college recruiting process. They're taking phone calls all day, making phone calls, meeting coaches, trying to get our students positioned to the best possible schools they can get into for their college careers. We also have a Center for College Counseling run by Beth Walters, the director, who also does a tremendous amount of work with all our students, but also our student athletes, making sure they have all the academic requirements and applications filled out and on time for the schools they're interested in. I don't know, Joe, or any coaches, if you want to chime in on that. But
Hey, Brenda, all I would say from a parental standpoint, I would just be very honest. I think I speak for Billy and Bob too. Be very honest with the players about who they are, okay, and what the expectation is. And the other thing is make sure, the academic process for college starts the first day of September when your son comes to school. And a lot like Coach Armstrong was saying, for athletes, most of the time it starts really in 10th and 11th grade, unless the kid is just a ridiculous phenom. But the other thing that's really important and paramount for people to understand, like in my sport in football, 2.4% of the high school players are going to end up Division I players. 2.4%. So, but every kid in our program has the opportunity to go to college. So I think that our school, as a college preparatory school, does an amazing job of that. And I think that, the statistics speak for themselves. You could look up any one of these programs and see the coaches have done a great job putting them in the best position to go to college, wherever it is.
I think we've, as a school, done some terrific things, and working with Beth over the course of the past few years, and Coach will bring in college compliance officers, college admissions officers, coaches, athletic directors, all into some of our presentations for our families, and give you an opportunity firsthand to interact with these people, just like we're interacting now, but in person. Hopefully we don't have to do these all via Zoom conference. But I think those have been extremely valuable because you get to hear, hey, grades, most important, like Coach just said, day one of September's, freshman year, that's when the clock starts ticking academically. And, that really is the key that unlocks so many doors. The athletics, that's great too. And our kids go on to do terrific things, but that academic piece, it can close doors. And I don't care who you are, but believe it or not, we had a young man who started at Notre Dame as their quarterback as a true freshman. And the first stop in his visit with the head coach at the time was to the admissions office. He says, bring your transcripts and let's see if we can get you accepted to this school. I mean, so regardless of what we're talking about, that is important.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Another question from the chat. So for students whose primary sport is in the winter, what do they commonly do in the fall? So specifically basketball. Are there fall workouts or a chance to play fall ball?
Guess that's for me.
Yeah.
I guess the first part, that's just speaking specifically about the athletics at Bergen Catholic. I truly believe that the athletic part of Bergen Catholic, no matter what sport you're playing, is a player development program. And I think each sport offers every possible thing that could be out there to make sure that our players have the best chance they can to fulfilling their potential and becoming the best player they're capable of becoming. So I think it's one of the cool things about Bergen Catholic. So you can play multiple sports. So you have that option. You can play 2 sports, 3 sports. That option is there. The other option is for those kids that just want to focus on one sport. We do things during the off season. For us, for basketball, obviously there's certain rules within the state that we abide by, and there's guidelines to that. But for us, for basketball in the fall, we have open gyms after school multiple times a week, and they're open to any kids that want to come. And then the other part too is that through the fall, we usually do 3 days a week. It's about 13 weeks long of our strength conditioning training. And for us at for the basketball program, we actually use Varsity House Gym. They've been really good to us, and they do a tremendous job. And our kids work out at Bergen. They also work out at Varsity House and stuff. So the opportunity is there for kids to continue to get better if they choose to only play one sport. We do kind of encourage them to play multiple sports, but if they don't, the opportunity to become the best you're capable of becoming is there. Hope that answers the question.
I got to be honest with you. I don't think we have a lot of preseason training in our bowling program. And there are probably a couple, where, if you're really paranoid about, you just want to be on a team. There are kids out there that they want to be a part of a team. And we do have teams that there's opportunity to participate, even though you're not world-class. You're not world-class in your sport. Like Brendan said earlier, not every sport cuts, and there's a lot of value that's learned from the discipline of committing to a team and participating. And by the way, our not to sell our bowling team short, they're actually very good, and they win the league championship like virtually every year. But we do have some varying levels of commitment. Some of the sports, they do require guys to commit and prepare themselves extremely well for seasons. Some other sports, there's a lot of opportunity to learn a new sport. If you want to learn crew, if you want to learn how to, participate in certain things, there is opportunity for those types of athletes as well.
All right, another question from the chat. Do you have any statistics around the percentage of students that try out for a sport and are accepted? So that would really mean for the 3 or 4 sports that we have that actually make cuts. Do you know, Brendan or Joe, what a rough percentage would be of who's trying out and versus who's being accepted to those teams?
I don't have an exact, statistic off the top of my head, but it really does vary on year-to-year basis, depending on the incoming class and really how many kids try out for the team. Sometimes only 2 or 3 guys get cut. Sometimes it's more like 20, depending on how many kids try out for the team. But I just want to emphasize that really only 3 or 4 sports have to make cuts. So, there's just a lot of opportunities for you to compete in different sports. And even I've seen many kids who have gotten cut from one sport and then went and played another sport in the same season and had some success doing that. So, there's a lot of opportunities to kind of put yourself out there and compete in different sports. I hope that kind of answers your question.
Yeah, Billy, I can jump in on this for baseball because, both, Billy Armstrong and myself are 2 of the programs that typically have to cut. This is, like I said, it's my 6th year here. We've had typically anywhere between 30 and 35 kids try out for the freshman baseball team every year. And we've kept anywhere from 18 to 22, which is the number we kept this year. So, and it's all based on obviously baseball is a little bit different because we have a certain number that we have to kind of hold ourselves to based on the amount of coaches we have in the program and based on typical team size. So this year we actually kept 22 kids out of, I think there was 32 original kids that tried out for the team. So I hope that answers your question.
We typically have about 3/4 to 80% of our student population participates in a sport in any given year. It's roughly about close to 1/3 of the school is playing sports in any one of the seasons, fall, spring, or winter. So there is tremendous engagement by the student body. It's not to say that everybody at the school is a student athlete, but certainly, a large number of the kids do find a place to call home, build friendships, and create some memories.
I was one of those students who got cut from a sports team. I got cut from freshman basketball, and I always tag Coach Armstrong in my men's league basketball highlights to remind him how big of a mistake it was cutting me. But I hadn't hit my growth spurt yet, so I don't hold it against them. But I ended up running indoor track during that season, and it worked out for me. I ended up getting a college scholarship to run track. So I think the most important thing is just do something at Bergen Catholic. Be active. Find what you think you might want to do going to Bergen Catholic. You might have no idea by the time you finish what you were good at, and the emphasis is really just to be involved. Be involved every single season if you can be involved with multiple activities, and you'll eventually find what you're good at. But I still hold a little bit of a grudge for being cut, and I will continue to remind them.
I think he missed on that one.
Yeah, that was he wasn't involved just yet, so Billy Armstrong was not responsible. Another question. So for parents of a seventh grader, can they reach out directly to coaches for the sport that he plays? So I'll just go ahead and answer that. So I believe everyone's emails, all the head coaches' emails are on their sports page on the Bergen Catholic website. So our coaches are always happy to answer your questions. They'll also be at the open houses in the fall, able to speak about their sports at their sports table. So all of their emails are up on our website. It's just first initial, last name at bergencatholic.org, and all of those are available on the Bergen Catholic athletic page for their sport. I think that's all the questions we have, unless anyone else has any questions from the video. All right, well, I just want to thank everyone so much for joining us. I think you could see what the common thread with Bergen Catholic athletics would be. It's that we're developing your sons as young men, and Bergen Catholic athletics are just an extension of the Bergen Catholic mission. And the wins and losses really do take care of themselves. And our coaches didn't really do a lot of bragging, but I'll brag for them. The wins absolutely do take care of themselves. So while they're focusing on developing your sons as young men, the county, league, state, in some cases national championships have been piling up, as you can see on the banners in the Bergen Catholic gym. So hopefully when you get on campus, you can see all of those and get to meet everyone in person. But yeah, we look forward for all of our incoming freshmen to start their careers at Bergen Catholic. And for all of the rising eighth graders, we hope to see you to come to open houses, spend Crusader for a day visits, and hopefully, we can meet you in person. So our next coffee series is going to be tomorrow evening. That's going to be with Dr. Mahoney, the president of Bergen Catholic. So an excellent opportunity to get some FaceTime with the president, and that will be at 7:00 as well. And the Zoom link should have been emailed out to everyone who registered. So thank you so much. Again, this will be recorded and posted on the website. And coaches and athletic directors, thank you so much for your participation.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
There.
Bye.